thank you to everyone that watched the film. We are really glad that can bring the voices of the Wayuu people here in this amazing place. We are really glad and grateful for be here. Thank you.
Thank you. So we have around 30 minutes that we can speak and ask a few questions and answers and get to know more about the process of the movie and about the community and maybe open up to the audience as well. Great?
Yes.
So I would like to go back to the beginning of the film, and I think it starts with you and your kind of quest and journey to your ancestral lands, and kind of following a melody, a whistle of your dad and the stories that he shared. Could you tell us more about this journey that took place within you as well?
Okay, this is a really personal journey to the land of my father. This is a region that I never visited before. This region was really a red zone, like we say in Colombia, with a lot of conflicts with the groups, the army groups that we have, and my father and me never visited the region before. After the peace process that started in 2016 in Colombia, we can visit more regions in my country. And when we are migrants, we start to think more about in our roots, in our identity. And this idea come, and Maik support the idea, and we develop the pre-production and the research process from Germany. The complete production was really special for me because I feel my father already is dead, and then for me always is be with my father in the region that he was living and he was born, and was a really emotional process for me. But I think that for both of us, what do you think?
Benim için çok duygusal bir deneyimdi çünkü babamın kaybından sonra oldu. Oraya gitmek babamı daha iyi tanımak anlamına geldi.
Of course, for me, it was also a very emotional journey. Especially, we bring also to this journey our son. He was in this time 12 years old, and I think that was a really important time there for him too. And it also give us a real good access.
Bu benim için de çok duygusal bir yolculuk oldu. Çünkü 12 yaşındaki oğlumuzu da beraberimizde götürdük.
Because if you not only come as a professional filmmaker, if you come with your family and join the rancherias of the Wayuu people there, they accept you easier than if you are only a foreigner and has no.
Wayuular, yani oradaki kabilenin ismi, onlara ailenle gittiğinde seni daha çabuk kabul ediyorlar ve aileden biri gibi görüyorlar.
Thank you, Mike. Yeah, I mean, you know, this theme about water, the water spirits. As I was coming down in Cappadocia and, you know, taking the bus here, I really saw how dry these lands were. A few vegetation farms here with drip irrigation. And just the last week, reading about Kabul is losing its aquifers. Iran is also losing its aquifers, and all around the world as well, even in cities. And one thing that remains in the film is about faith. The faith that they have in the mother, in the spirit. Could you speak a bit more about this faith of Donna Susana and the community leaders?
Ben Kapadokya'ya geldiğimde dikkatimi çeken toprağın kurak oluşuydu ve sadece Türkiye'de değil dünyanın birçok yerinde su sıkıntısı olduğunu biliyoruz. Bunun benzerleriyle nasıl özdeşleştiriyorsun deneyimlerinizi?
Yes, I think that the connection with the nature that the indigenous communities around the world has is really special. the gods of the indigenous always are related with the elements of the earth. And that means that the behavior that they have in the world is more with respect with this element because are the gods that they have. And that give us a lot of, they teach a lot to us. They teach how the relation needs to be, how the humans, we lost this connection. We lost, because the civilization, we lost a lot the connection with the nature, but they conserve that, and the tradition conserve that. And this faith that you mentioned is because they conserve this tradition, these legends. They really believe in the gods that they have, and the gods exist. They can see the gods, they can see the water, they can see the wind, they can feel the elements, and that give more power and more motivation, and yes, and are stronger humans than us.
So in one way, faith also comes from living in relationship to nature, sensing nature. So this is where that faith in the community comes from. Yes.
Yani aslında inanış doğayla olan bağlantı demek, değil mi?
I mean, I think it was mentioned that we are all interconnected in one way. You know, I live in Switzerland. That is the home of Glencore. And Glencore is perhaps the owners of this huge monstrous mine. So in one way, I also feel connected to it, right? And the issue of water is really global. And one thing that came up with the movie was also the thing about the fisherman. He was talking about this is not normal anymore, the flow of the water. And normal for him perhaps is the flooding and the going back, and the flooding and the going back. And while we in urban centers, normal is constant flow. Constant flow. So how is the new normal going to be for these communities?
Okay, I think that this lack of water that they have produce that they need to react, they need to confront, they need to always, it's a big deal for them always to find the water. And sometimes the traditions are in risk because, of course, the needs are fierce. It's fierce to find water that really conserve things or find the money for feed the kids. I am talking too much.
No, I was just looking, something's happening there. So could you repeat the last sentence?
Of course. Okay, the lack of water that they have produce that they are the traditions are in risk because now the needs are the priority for them. Find the water is the priority. Find food is the priority, and it's not only the risk from the life because the lack of water that they have is the risk of the traditions too that they are.
Şimdi enteresan olan aslında en çok ihtiyaç duydukları şey, yani su onların aynı zamanda en büyük geleneklerini besliyor. Dolayısıyla en büyük ihtiyaçları aynı zamanda en büyük inanışları haline gelmiş.
And I think also we try to put some hope in this film on the end, but for be honest, I think sometimes there is not so much hope really, because the conditions for example, the last community we've seen, of course they have now the hope of water to find this well in their territory, but the circumstances get worse and worse every time, and I don't know how they can survive in this place in 50 years, in 100 years, I have no idea.
Biz bu filme gerçekten umut koymaya çalıştık ama bunu yapmak gerçekten çok zor. 15-20 yıl içinde ne olacağını gerçekten kestiremiyoruz ve öngöremiyoruz.
And what has been the response of the Vayu community to the film? what has been the response of the Vayu community to the film?
Vayu,
How they respond to
Yes.
film.
Vayu insanları bu filmi gördüğünde nasıl tepki verdiler?
Does it give them hope?
Umutlandılar mı?
Yes, they always are glad that we present this film around the world, that the voices of them can be heard around the world. And there are something that happens sometimes that is the public or in many festivals that we show the film, the people want to connect with the community. And then we create a new website for can have this possibility. And if the people want to donate or want to buy the products that the women have, we are working in this form, and the community is really glad that in some small parts we can help with our film in the big problems that they have.
Filmi web sitesine koyduk. Oradan izlemeler için kira topladık. En azından onu komüniteye verme şansımız oldu. Bu da onların bazı büyük ihtiyaçlarını karşılamalarına faydalı oldu.
I mean, we saw them trying to make those 5 handbags, and take 2 weeks for them to be made. And definitely the audience is also maybe interested to know more of the handbags if it's there on your website. I think you'll be sharing it with them later, right?
Yes, yes.
Bu el çantalarından da bahsedebilir misin? Belki seyirciler almak isteyebilir.
We have some cards here with more information, and our website is really easy. It's www.territoriopuloy.com, and then we can find more information and forms for communicate and to connect with the community.
İlgilenenler bana gelebilirler. Onlara kartlarımızı verebilirim. Aynı zamanda web sitemiz film ismimizle aynı.
And maybe a bit more on the process. You shared briefly with me that there was a school of communication involved. And how was the community involved in the making of the film?
Komünite bu filmi yaparken nasıl katkı sağladı?
Yes, I think that was in the time of the research process was a really look for me to find a Facebook account from the School of Communication of the Pueblo Wayuu. It's a group of young people that is studied to make films and tell the stories from themselves. We have a connection with them via Facebook first, and then we met in La Guajira, and they were part of our team. They are assistants of our cameras. They were our local producers. We learned for them, and they learned something for us. Was a really special process for us to have them. For that, our credits are a little longer because we want to mention every people that work with us, because it's really important for us that the people know the names of the film, of the team. They continue making films, and our idea, and in our website, we have some contacts that the people that want to film in La Guajira can contact direct this school and work with them and let to that they guide in the region, because it's really important for them and for us, like filmmakers, to really connect with the real community and let that they tell their own stories.
Biz bu filmi yaparken bölgedeki bir üniversitenin iletişim departmanında okuyan gençleriyle çalıştık. Onlar başından sonuna bize katkı sağladılar. Bundan da çok memnunuz.
Maybe just one more thing is I'm reminded of a story from Brother David. He's a 99-year-old monk. And he was talking, he traveled around the world, and he's from Austria. And he said after he came back from the travels, what he did was, the faucet where the water comes from, he labeled it water. And the light switch where he puts on the light, he said electricity. And this kind of bringing of awareness to being grateful for the water that we have. and for the electricity that we have. I'm curious, what is the one thing that you have taken back after the creation of the movie and of living and learning from the community? Like a question to both Carmela and Maik.
En büyük bu filmi yapmak size en çok ne kattı? Beraberinizde ne getirdiniz?
Of course, one thing is how we take the water we have every day in our bathroom and flush it down with one push of a button. For a long time, we see this really as a great luxury at home. But of course, with time, you are back, and then it becomes normal again. But all time, if we see this film now in festivals and other places, it reminds me again how precious is water and how important is water to everyone. And this is, of course, one thing that I take from the process.
Yani normal hayatta suyu sifonu çekiyoruz ve düşünmüyoruz bile diyor. Ama bu filmi çektikten sonra, bu insanların yaşadıkları sıkıntıları gördükten sonra artık suya çok başka türlü bakıyorum. Çok değerli olduğunu görüyorum.
And another point is that we have a teenager at home. The teenagers don't put too much attention to care things. And I think Puloy is a good reminder every day for us and say, hey, there are people in the other side of the world that is missing a lot what we have. And I think that for education that we have now with Ludwig work a lot, this experience that we have in Puloy.
Puloy'daki deneyimi hep kendimize ve evimizde yaşayan gencimize hatırlatmaya çalışıyoruz.
Shall we take a few questions from the audience? Yes.
Şimdi sorularınız varsa lütfen
Bring the mic down.
bir iki soru alacağız. Sorusu olan varsa el kaldırabilir. Orada minderde there is a few people.
Sonuç olarak su geldi mi?
She's asking if water has arrived to Puloy.
To the community of Iparu, not yet. No, they are working to get this Pozo Profundo, this deep well in the community, but they still have it not yet.
Hayır, maalesef.
Biz o çantalardan alırsak su gelir mi?
If we buy those bags, would water arrive?
We opened the donation for that. Really, the Pozo Profundo costs a lot of money. We need to find $70,000.
$70,000 ihtiyacımız var.
We opened the donation. Okay, now if we can find the money, it would be great.
Bağışları açtık.
Yeah.
Çok iyi olur parayı bulabilirsek. $70,000.
No, how much one bag?
Bir çanta ne kadar?
Every bag we sell in 80 euros, and then
80 euroya satıyoruz.
Okay, I've got one.
Ben bir tane alayım.
Thank you, Mom.
Thank you.
Thank
Mama
you very
Elif.
much, Mom.
Any other questions?
Sorusu olan. Naveen, there is one on your right, behind Alexandre.
Hi, thank you for the movie, especially. I wondered if there's the idea come from the Pauli or the water issue, the idea of the movie.
Were you interested in making this film because you were interested in the region, or was it because of the problem?
Okay, this is really important. This is the region of my father, but the news that always arrive from La Guajira are really sad. And I think that the news sometimes only show the bad part of La Guajira. They show the poverty, they show the misery, they show how they poor are. And I think that this kind of news are like condemn the community to always have the same situation. And then my idea or our idea is give value what they have, what they know about the world, and for that the idea for put the animation of the legends become strong for us, because it gives the values from the community.
You want to add? Evet, yani evet, burası babamın köyü olduğu için tabii ki beni ayrıca etkiledi ama beni en çok üzen haberler oldu. Ve o yüzden bunun farklı anlatılabileceğini göstermek için de gittik. Çünkü biz onların kendi mitolojik legend, you said? Legend, efsane. Mitoloji değil, pardon. Efsanelerine odaklanarak onlara güç vermek istedik. O yüzden bu şekilde bir anlatım seçtik. Ama tabii ki babamın köyünün olmasında ayrıca bir ilgi sebebi.
And also in the research of this project, we found many other problems in this region in La Guajira, and then we had to decide to put focus in one of the problems because they are much more. It's not only the lack of water, it's also the violence and the education. But we had to decide to really put focus in one of the problems and follow this.
Biz bu bölgede çok fazla problem tespit ettik araştırma yaparken. Hem eğitim hem şiddetle ilgili çok ciddi sıkıntılar vardı ama seçim yapmak zorundaydık bir hikaye anlatmak için ve o yüzden su problemini seçtik. But why water?
Okay, I think that water is the biggest problem.
Çünkü en büyük problem olduğunu düşündük.
If you don't have water, you can
Suyun
don't
yoksa
have education, but if you don't
eğitim de
have water,
alamazsın.
you can't live.
Yaşayamazsın. Yani suyun olmazsa yaşayamazsın. Eğitim almazsan yine yaşayabilirsin.
Yeah, maybe we can take one more question.
Bir soru daha alacağız. Sonra programa devam ediyoruz.
So I was very impressed, and I wondered about that. How the old people, the very old people, in which good condition they were, like really clear in mind, and so also the many generations who lived there together, and I wondered how could they be in this very good condition without water. So that is really for me impressing. Anyway, this is also one of the very positive things that you showed there.
Filmde gösterdiğiniz pozitif şeylerden biri de yaşlılardı. Yaşlılar çok iyi görünüyordu. Nasıl oluyor bu susuz oldukları halde?
Yes. I think one of the big reasons because these communities look so strong is because the power of the family together, the power of the community. When the people care each other, no? When you can care your grandma, when you can care your mom, when your aunts are close to you, when the people feel that is protected for a community, the life is better always. No, we are living in a society that right now we are living alone. No, we don't talk even with our neighbor, but in these communities is the power of the connection. I think so, the power of the community that produce this.
Yaşlılar
Thanks for see that.
ve kadınlar gücünü komünitenin birlikteliğinden alıyor. Bizler maalesef öyle değiliz. Bizler çok yalnızız ama onlar susuz oldukları halde birbirlerine sahipler.
So I would like
Thank
to
you.
thank both Carmela and Maik for being with
Thank
us.
you very much.
Thank you for the wonderful
Thank you
movie.
for the invitation and thank you all for seeing
Bizi
the
davet
film.
ettiğiniz için çok teşekkür ederiz.